Are you stuck on the hamster wheel of constantly feeling busy whilst at the same time not making progress on the things that you really care about? If that's you, then in this video, I'll explain how to build easy to follow systems that increase your ability to follow through on what actually matters. Most guys don't have a time management issue. They have a prioritization issue. Over the years of working with hundreds of men, I can firmly say that the ones who succeed are the ones who can break down their priorities for the day in the simplest way possible. And they are crystal clear on what they want to achieve, which is another important part when it comes down to getting done what you need to get done every day. In part 2 of this mini series, I'm going to take you through my 4 systems that will give you structure and clarity to follow through on what you need to get done every day. If you've ever been told to just time block your day, use the Pomodoro technique and all the other shit, but it's never really worked for you, then this is going to work for you because it's based on behavior change. Over the years, I've personally trained for huge events, worked 12-hour days in my office, trained twice a day, had big projects to meet, and still managed to get everything I need to get done to a decent standard. I've worked with guys who run huge businesses and some who are on the other side of the world working 12-hour shifts. The systems I'm going to take you through today will help you get clarity on how to get everything you need to get done. Everything changed for me when I started to really understand these systems and work on them. There is a huge difference between just being busy and actually being productive with your time. Now, I have been there myself, that feeling where your days are full, you're doing stuff all day long, but deep down, you're not actually moving forward. You tell yourself you're just busy, that life's hectic right now, but when you finally slow down, it actually just hits you. You've been spinning your wheels, reacting, firefighting, people pleasing, saying I'll probably start next week. And that's the part that stings because you know within yourself that you're capable of doing so much more. You know you've got another level in you, but every time you try to push forward, it feels like there's so many things just going on that get in the way and you're trying to get too much right at once. You're trying to think your way through something that actually just needs a bit more structure. And once you start building that structure, you stop living in chaos mode, you finally start making measurable progress. Because when you're in this position, there's always something that is just trying to get in the way of you, or that's what it feels like anyway. So I'm going to break this down into 4 key systems. The first system that we're going to talk about is the next step system. As men and people in general, it's very easy when you're on a journey of change to look at the big picture. One day you wake up, you look in the mirror and you say, something has to change. So what happens is you set a big goal and you get clear on where you want to get to. And then for a few weeks, everything seems great. You're flying across the board until you're hit with a challenge or a setback and you think, what's the point of me carrying on as I feel so far away from where I want to be anyway? Which is what I call the false hope syndrome. It's when people set huge goals and they overestimate how fast they can change and give up when reality hits, that it's going to be 10 times harder than what they initially thought. Now, we're not looking at completely disregarding having a big goal to aim towards and work to like this, but we don't want it in front of mind all the time. If we say we get clear on what the ultimate goal looks like for you, what you've achieved, how you live, how you go about your day, and how you show up, how you dress, how you act, all of these things are just painting that ultimate version of you. We want to keep that there. And from there, we want to look at our current reality. If we say that the ultimate goal is 10, rock bottom is 0, the place we don't want to go back to, which is also really important for you to get clear on as well. To think about when you're at rock bottom with your health and fitness, for example, what is actually happening when you're in this place? What are the things that you're doing? What are the things that you're maybe not doing when you're in this place? This could be things like maybe you're staying up too late, you're opting for convenience all the time, you're just generally not feeling good about where you're at, you're low on energy, your mood's not in a good place, you're feeling snappy. We then just want to think about between 0 and 10, where are we at right now? With what's been going on for you over the past months, where would you say that you're realistically sitting on a day-to-day basis between 0, the rock bottom, and 10, the ultimate goal? Then all we want to think about is not how we go from where we're at right now to that ultimate goal. We're thinking about what does the next level up look like. So say if we're at a 3, our job now is to get clear on what does 4 look like. We want to define it. We want to get really clear on it. We want to put a date on when we're going to achieve 4 and basically get there. But most importantly, we want to get clear on the 3 key action steps that are going to get us there. The 3 things that are going to move us forward. Say, for example, you're overweight. You know, your 10 is being at like 80 kg. When you're starting at 100 kg, you're there now. The next step for you would be going to 95 kilos, for example, in 8 weeks. To get there, you would maybe focus on 3 things. It could be weighing yourself consistently, tracking your nutrition 5 days a week, and hitting your protein target. Now, this would pretty confidently move you to that next stage. And in reality, it wouldn't feel like too much work either. Okay, so now we're just stripping it back to the priorities. If you're someone looking to go and run a PB in a 10K, for example, the actions would be make sure you complete obviously all your runs, all your strength sessions to the best standard that you can. Make sure you're well fueled around your sessions to promote recovery. And you're also prioritizing mobility as well, so you can take and carry through those sessions as best as you can. Now, this just breaks it down into such a simpler format, whereas you don't have to actually worry about the full circle and everything else and having everything together, because you're just focused on that next step and the key actions that are necessary to move you there. From there, we want to look at reward systems that we can put in place to make things rewarding. Too many guys try and white knuckle their way through a transformation, but in most cases, what I find is nothing is ever enough if they don't show appreciation for the work they've put in along the way. And you're always just chasing that next thing. I've worked with clients in the past who have booked holidays off the back of going up a level. Now, you don't have to do that. You just want to add respect and meaning to your goals. It could be something as simple as buying a new gym shirt, for example, something that you'd maybe got that had no meaning to it. Now, this framework would work with anything you're looking to achieve moving forward. If it's career, your fitness, maybe your finances, your personal life, whatever it looks like, it's something that I use personally that stops me getting from overwhelmed and allows me just to focus on what the next step realistically looks like for me. With this system, you're just stripping away all the noise and you're focused on the key areas that will undoubtedly move you forward to progress. The next method we're going to talk about is a simple priority method. I don't believe that people actually have that much of a time management issue. As I was saying in the beginning, they also have a priority issue. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you're consistently getting sidetracked by your phone or other minor tasks, this is actually eating away at your brain space to follow through on the things that move the needle forward for you. When I say move the needle forward, what I mean is the things that are actually gonna make you feel like you're making progress. Now, if every morning you asked yourself, what are the top 3 to 5 priorities I need to get done today to make today successful, you would be able to have crystal clear clarity on your days as they come, and you'd build so much success of what feels like success. Now, I actually got this idea from Stephen Bartlett. It's called signal versus noise. Now, you know what your top priorities are for the day. Your day should be based around them completely and getting them done. This could be, obviously, get through your day of work, train, maybe preparing your meals, for example. That's just an example. And you would basically list out all of the things that you need to do in a day into 2 tables. So on one side, you'd have signal being the big priorities that you need to get done. You focused on these before anything else. And then noise would be the other side. So that would be the smaller things that could get done. For example, replying to messages, looking at WhatsApp, doing the dishes, house admin stuff, you know, those minor tasks, maybe minor tasks in work as well. When the noise gets too caught in with the signal, you lose momentum, focus, and clarity. Now, I've personally used this and we get our clients to do it as well. It works extremely well. I personally have my notes up with a table plan for the day, and whenever I notice my attention wavering, if something crops up that is not the biggest priority, whereas in the past I would have gone, yes, look, let's get onto this right now, I will simply just add into the noise section, and I designate a time in the day to do all my noise tasks, so I close loops for the day. Now, the next strategy we're going to talk about is the backcasting strategy. If you made it this far, well done, because we're about to get into some juicy stuff. Whenever I have a client come on board, I'm not just a coach that is looking at the real short term. I want my clients to win across the board. I want them to realize their potential and really start chipping away at it. And a great thing to do for that is something that I call backcasting. Now, this isn't just about planning what you want, it's about building the systems and structure that actually go and make that happen automatically. Most people set goals and then hope motivation shows up. High performers build systems. So even when maybe your motivation isn't there, your progress keeps you moving forward because you're just clear on what you want. Now, the first step to backcasting is the long-term vision. What I want you to do is I want you to think about the life you want to be living. Not just the goals, but the system behind that life. Who are you becoming? How do you operate day to day? So, for example, if we say 5 years, maybe you may not be able to think 5 years ahead, but let's use it as an example. In 5 years, I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to be lean, athletic, mentally sharp. I'll be training with purpose, running sub 40 10Ks and competing in high rocks. I'll have my routine dialed in, my finances in control, and a calm, structured life that allows me to perform at my highest level in and out of fitness. So from there, we're breaking it down into the year to year, okay? So we're breaking that vision down. What systems or capabilities do you need to build this year that move you closer to that? For example, I need to build a training system that I can follow regardless of what's going on in my life. I need to establish consistent nutrition habits. I need to track, learn, and automate them. I need to learn to manage my time and energy better with structure. I need to build confidence through momentum. So that could be my first high rocks or 10K event. I need to develop a simple system for accountability and reflection each week. Think not just what do I want to achieve, but what do I need to build to achieve these things repeatedly, okay? Step 3, monthly milestones. See how we're breaking this down into closer and closer. Each month is about reinforcing and refining these systems, not reinventing them. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress through consistency. So for example, this month, my goals are to hit 80% consistency on training and tracking meals, to create a Sunday planning habit, to track my weight, steps and sleep weekly, to build momentum with early wins. For example, it could be a fast run over a 1K interval, a strength PB, for example. From a systems perspective, it could be writing a list for the shopping, doing a meal prep routine, lock in training times that don't move, implement weekly reflection every Sunday evening, identify and remove one habit that causes me to derail. So it could be like staying up late and scrolling. Step 4 would then be now weekly structure, where systems become the routine. Each week runs on a rhythm, not random bursts of effort. Think of it as your operating system for performance. For example, it could be 3 to 4 training sessions locked in a calendar, weekly planning plus reflection every Sunday evening. A nutrition system could prep twice a week plus track weekday meals. Recovery system could be maybe you're just having one active recovery day to balance your energy across the course of the week. So now we've broke down the years, the months, the weeks. Now we're looking at ultimately how can we make it so automatic that we're broken it down into the daily non-negotiables. Okay, so now you'll be looking at them. These could be your daily non-negotiables, the repeatable habits that ultimately hold everything together, your inputs, not your outcomes, small actions that guarantee movement. For example, it could be you have the same morning routine, no phone, okay? You hit 10K steps, you have 1 hour of focused training, you have eat 3 balanced meals with protein every single meal, you journal or reflect for 5 minutes. We just want to start small with this and build it up gradually instead of having everything in place to perfection, okay? So we're looking at vision, objectives, monthly systems, weekly structure, and then we bring it back all down to things we can do today, to the daily standards. Planning gives you direction, system creates momentum, and the structure protects it. Your goal isn't to become perfect, it's to make progress pretty inevitable by designing a life that rewards consistency. To add to this, I want to take you through my daily planning and weekly strategy. So ultimately, up to this point, we've walked through the next step system, the one simple priority method, and the backcasting strategy. Now, I'm going to run you through a simple daily and weekly planning structure that you can use day to day moving forward. Okay, so when it comes to weekly planning, let's say you did this on a Sunday. What you want to do is you just want to set an intention for the week. Set aside 30 minutes each week to plan it. Focus on managing your energy, not just stuff in your calendar. When you do this, you want to look at your big rocks. So the 3 to 5 weekly outcomes. For example, your workouts, maybe your work. From there, we want to look at your energy, so the planning side of things. We want to identify expected heavy days and avoid 2 real heavy days of work in a row. Then we want to leave a bit of slack time. So you leave 1 to 2 hours for overflow across the course of the week just to get all the other things done. When you're planning your fun first. Add things that recharge you before work or before admin. Have things to look forward to in your week, okay? Then we want to look at your non-negotiables, so your work, etc. And then we want to look at the boundaries that actually make those non-negotiables happen. So it could be things like turning off your notifications on your phone, scheduling phone and time blocks, going to bed at a good time. From there, we want to look at your daily planning. So this could be like fleshing your day out hour by hour and keep it somewhere you can see. So it could be your iPhone notes, for example, which is what I use. From there, we want to spend 10 minutes each night planning the next day. Focus on your top 3 priorities. So this could be, again, your big rocks. What must get done tomorrow? What would make tomorrow successful? From there, we fit in the little rocks around it. Okay, so that could be your errands, your admin, all of this kind of stuff, your life admin. Additional things that you can put in is just make sure you're starting the day off at a good start. So your morning routine, you're hydrated, you're getting fresh air, no phone for the first 30 minutes. If there are things there just need to get done, add a 2-minute rule in there. Do small tasks immediately to build momentum. And then you're looking at your food, so your movement and stuff like that. Make sure that it's got a structure ahead of time and you know what you're aiming for. Again, with the slack time, you add 30 minutes in there every day. With a night routine, you just have a wind down routine every night where you're going to sleep at the same time every night. If possible, this is going to allow your circadian rhythm to be in check and for you to show up at your best. Now, if you take one thing away from this video, let it be that progress doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things consistently. When you build structure, you remove emotion from the process. You stop waking up hoping for today to be different, and instead you start showing up with clarity and control because you know what's important to you and you know the priorities that make what's important to you a reality. And that's exactly what I want you for you. I want you to wake up every day knowing exactly what the next step is, what matters most, and how to move forward without the constant noise and overwhelm that life is bringing to you every day. If this video hit home for you, make sure you hit subscribe and turn notifications on, because in the next part of this mini series, I'll be diving into the key habits that make a successful transformation. As always, I appreciate you watching, and let's get to work.